Hi, Doc. Yes, Daniela, I think Julius is going to be joining
Yes,
soon.
you take care about now. We will shifting. Great thanks for all the presenter in the previous sessions, and welcome with the new presenter with the new tracks. It's about this. It's talking about the hero's journey, and the hero's journey, one of the most important journey in the life, from inventor to impact entrepreneurs. The mic and the floor for you, Barry. Collect your groups.
Thank you, Doc. Just waiting a little for Julius to come on. I'm not sure if he's on yet. He is going to be our moderator for this session. I see Daniela is here. In the meantime, while we wait for Julius to get on, I can tell you a little bit about myself. I am Barry Tate, founder of Baseline Coaching. Thank you, Doc. Founder of Baseline Coaching. And I primarily work with new and aspiring entrepreneurs, helping them establish, scale, successful, impactful businesses. I'm based in the Caribbean, but I work with clients globally. And my passion, my why, is based on a belief system that every family should be involved in enterprise. I have developed a coaching system that allows an individual to ascertain what the pathway to enterprise would look like. Although all of us should be in business, it does not mean we all need to be entrepreneurs. So I help individuals choose that pathway to enterprise or entrepreneurship, deciding if they are going to be investors, solopreneurs that scale businesses, or just well-wishers and supporters of already existing businesses. With me today is Daniela De Paiva. I'm going to give Daniela a little bit of time to talk and introduce herself. Hopefully by then Julius will be on.
Perfect, Barry. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Hanadi, for organizing this conference and all the talks that we heard yesterday and today have been very open-eyed, for at least for me. I'm a senior partner at KiwiD Impact. I'm basically working consulting, and I developed a turnaround process for NGOs. Nowadays, we have this divide between the NGOs that are on this starvation cycle, trying to raise enough money just to stay afloat, and the other side we have the big companies. And my mission in this earth is how we connect these two things that make NGOs more profitable, and also collecting some of this extra cash that's on the other side should drive social and environmental change. I have a presentation that I prepared for today. I'll share my screen with you. Let's see how it goes. So, can you see my screen, Barry?
Yes, for sure. Good. 5 by 5.
Oh, perfect. So, view a slideshow. So we at the QED, we are basically trying to drive impact through sustainable solutions. We use a method framework combining design thinking, frugal innovation, and creative problem solving. The last days, we heard a lot about how universities are fostering innovation, etc. But we seldom forget that talent and innovation are spread equally, and we have innovation in all kinds of levels in our society. So frugal innovation is very instrumental in driving innovation with low resources environments. And of course, creative problem solving. Sorry for not remembering the name, but yesterday someone mentioned that in Saudi Arabia now they are using already patents from kindergarten and first graders and fundamental school. So creative problem solving is really important to solve problems, and it's very important that we use this playfulness that children have to solve problems in easier ways, because we are so much focused on complex solutions. And by combining design thinking, placing the needs of our beneficiaries at the center of our interventions, combining with frugal innovation and creative problem solving, we have a very strong framework to develop scalable solutions in the long run. I touched briefly here on the services my company offers, but you are all welcome to check my credentials later on. We are basically doing consulting services. We run an incubators, training workshops, and a digital platform, and connecting NGOs, social entrepreneurs, impact entrepreneurs of all kinds with funding on the other side. And I guess today we are here to discuss why techno-entrepreneurship. I guess that's the most important. We will ask over the next days, the next decades, I think, because combining technology and entrepreneurship, we develop solutions that are not only local, but easy to scale globally with much more, how can I say that, with a bigger impact over the whole ecosystem, and also how the role of emerging tech and for the social good, by using the AI for data analytics, predictive modeling, scalable solutions, we can work on how the climate change affects different regions, how these analytics can really drive supply chain efficiency and financial forecasting. So technology will be the big game changer for social good on the next decade, and also how we can enhance inclusivity, preservation, sustainability, blended with revenue, education, and most of all, a global collaboration by bringing all these tools together. I touch here briefly on a case study that we are on, a project that we are doing out of Malta. It's a tech-centric company that's basically the European Commission is basically is constructing a digital twin of the oceans. So this company is basically touching on the data that the digital twin generates, and then they are creating ecotourism experiences based on the digital twin of the oceans. So they bring with VR and AR experiences for the tourists, and they also monitor marine ecosystems. They detect early threats such as pollution, overfishing, and combining it all with an AI interpretive center that has exhibitions. They can have education focus on the tourists, and also enabling people that are unable to travel to experience those experiences, and also people that are trying to reduce their carbon emissions by not having long distance flights, etc. I know that National Geographic did a great work on bringing all these documentaries for us, but imagine living this on real time, diving. If you are on a wheelchair or something like this, you can hike or you can do whatever other tourists do that you are unable at that moment, and they are on the early seed stage. So this is one of the projects that our company have been working on, and they are fresh out of our incubator. And but none of this comes without challenges, right? So unfortunately, mostly on the emerging economies, we have limited funding access, infrastructure deficits, talent pool limitation, market fragmentation, limited access to global networks, among many of the challenges that we all discussed today and also yesterday, that how innovation is always the thing to be avoided, because it's also a little bit scary, because we never know how the innovation will turn out. So our job nowadays is to enable incubators to really help the entrepreneurs to be on the other side, how the incubator is important to really bridge the gap between whatever the entrepreneur is doing and whatever is on the other side, by bringing infrastructure, financial guidance, talent development, and market readiness. So these entrepreneurs have enough time to focus on their innovations. On the other side, our next challenge is Global Impact Entrepreneurship Challenge, that we are partnering with the Spirit of the Game Foundation. We have Trent and Julius yesterday introducing the Spirit of the Game. And together we are building a three phases challenge that will start local, move to a second phase regional, and a third phase a global challenge that will, and the winners, the final winners will receive up to 100,000 euros in prize. So starting local, the entrepreneurs will refine their solutions with the local support of their local incubator, focusing on problem definitions, SDG alignment, and financial modeling. Moving on to a second phase where the top ventures will receive mentorship, test scalability, and prepare for investor engagement. And coming to a third phase when they will be ready for a global stage and global expansion. And I'll call Barry to touch briefly on how small companies, solo companies, and any entrepreneur, wherever they are on their journey, could benefit from the challenge. Barry, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Daniela. Thank you very much, and great job so far. Allow me to give a little bit of context. Imagine this, or consider this. Well over 80% of businesses globally are small businesses. Therefore, it's not difficult to consider small business as the backbone of the economy globally. And it's important to provide guidance, because in my space, in my consultancy, when I'm working with new and aspiring entrepreneurs, for the most part, these individuals are coming with ideas to market because they identify problems others are experiencing that they want to solve. So for the most part, The entrepreneurial mindset is one that says, I'm here to add value rather than I'm here to extract value from the market. However, just as the spinal cord of the human body, if we look at all individual small businesses, micro businesses, solopreneurs, even medium businesses, if you consider each of them as a disc in the spine, how many of these discs can the body afford to be misaligned, out of place? It will just take one for the entire body or for the entire global economy to have restricted potential in terms of movement, in terms of growth, in terms of what can be achieved. And so addressing small businesses within the framework of impact early on can see regions, not just individuals, regions, increase their impact, increase the good they do within a global setting. It allows for individuals to achieve more once the mindset, the why, is refined. So when it comes to the GEIC, our challenge to entrepreneurs provides value on so many different levels. Firstly, it will help entrepreneurs understand that they can be agents of change regardless of their scope, their scale, or their line of business. They can begin to see themselves all the more as agents of change, and the challenge will allow them to leverage their why, their systems, their talents in a more systematic manner to create the change that they maybe already carry inside as a burning issue. A lot of my work helps individuals understand their why and their reason for coming into market in the first place. So I believe this challenge, I'm convinced this challenge and the initiatives of the ICC will help push the needle forward when it comes to impact. The ripple effects of such a challenge is obviously the ability to go beyond your line of business, whether it be through direct intervention in the community or collaboration with other entities. The scope, the playground, the landing path becomes a lot longer, a lot wider when we're able to direct our minds towards impact on a greater level. And the blended impact I see here, blended impact in building scalable businesses that combine profitability and purpose. Again, looking beyond the what's in it for me component of business and accentuating and leaning in a bit more into what can I do for my community? What can I do for my region, for my nation? What can I do for the planet? How can I add value? And it is in this mindset entrepreneurs can move towards building networks. And as this challenge will provide the framework for a global network building approach, entrepreneurs, teams would be able to sit and communicate with like-minded entrepreneurs, partners from all around the world, and pool their resources, pool their whys to increase impact. The challenge will also allow participants to glean from mentors, top mentors, seasoned entrepreneurs in various industries, allowing them to maximize their impact as they go through the stages of this challenge. I think if there is a baseline towards or within the challenge, it would be that opportunity for collaboration and impact as a whole. I think that participants in this global challenge, as they work with mentors, glean from them, as they connect with people globally, the collaboration that comes out of it can be that spark, it be that catalyst for change we were talking about earlier, that would see a new generation, a new breed of entrepreneur that begins thinking all the more of impact even as they develop their why. And it will not be so much as an incidental going forward, but that we will see a full alignment of the body of the economy globally. As businesses, small businesses, 80% of the economies and more globally connect with each other, work with each other to serve their clients better, to serve their communities better, to serve the planet better. And I believe the opportunity for impact, the opportunity for collaboration, the opportunity for design, for resource sharing, and just the overall, almost like a win-win that will come out of me helping you, you helping me, but we're all working together to help everyone. That's almost a win-win scenario that entrepreneurs coming into the challenge, teams coming into this challenge, would be able to draw from, to tweak, to expand on their own ideas, on their own initiatives, get the support they need from within a global network, and really execute, really come up with variations, innovations, businesses that are going to do so much more than what the entrepreneur or the team may have originally intended as information comes their way. I've had the privilege of sitting in on a couple of presentations this morning and a couple yesterday as well. A lot of the speakers that have come to this forum have brought ideas to do good, to serve. I have not heard much of grabbing the bag, I'm going to do this and become a millionaire, although a lot of the ideas are multi-million-dollar ideations. But the why I've been gleaning from this gathering so far, this is my first time. I'm looking forward to sitting in and listening tomorrow and even in the years to come. A lot of the motivation, a lot of the whys have been, how can I do more? And this challenge is providing the framework to bring these and other fantastic ideas together, point them in the best possible direction when it comes to creating impact, and then leading, guiding, and supporting them for the entire journey. Thank you, Daniela.
Wonderful. So thank you. Thank you, Barry. And thank you also for pacing me a little bit with your wonderful voice.
Yes, one of the things that I would like to build on both Daniela and what Barry's just exposed to everybody is that we theoretically live in a decentralized system. And this decentralized system usually accounts for nations or continents, European Union, United States, and so on and so forth. But to be able to actually see ourselves as a race and humanity living on Earth, the decentralization needs to happen at a local level to the global level. How? You see the Global Impact Entrepreneurship Challenge. It covers a broad spectrum of both businesses, economies, ideations, and the outputs that these will give. These are not standalone businesses and should not be standalone businesses. Just like a government decentralizes its services to the people, the businesses should decentralize its services with each other. And this is a main factor that we want to push through the challenge, where it doesn't matter if you are in Africa or if you are in Europe or if you are in the US. your business is going to have the best chance to succeed if it abides by both the national regulations and the needs of the global community. This means that that business should actually run in the government, in the administrative territory of the government that has the best benefits for your business and also the best outputs for you as a global stage. And this will most likely mean that a lot of entrepreneurs are thinking of opening businesses in other countries and maybe other continents to be able to take advantage of the mentality or of the services or of the regulations of that specific government that they are in. And this is something that I fear should be pushed in all entrepreneurship endeavors where you have the best chance to decentralize your business. And plus, go to the next level. We are looking at over 2,000 participants in our challenge. These participants do not compete against each other. They should be working as a team because most of these businesses are going to complete each other. They're going to offer services that one of the other businesses needs. This way, you don't build an HR department. You decentralize it and you outsource it to another company that wants to build that HR. And this will give everybody a win-win situation like Barry was mentioning just earlier. And this is elemental and essential to mold the mentality and mold the mindset of the entrepreneurs where they no longer compete. We are living in a world that seeks community, seeks collaboration, and seeks unity on a global scale. We need to act on it. Daniela, I'm handing this back to you, and we should really get through this presentation, but I feel that we are going to touch base on more and more points as we move along.
Perfect. Thank you, Julius. Thank you, Barry. And I guess I'm more paced now. I guess from all this information that Barry and Julius brought for us, it's very important in my work. I always talk to my entrepreneurs when we are working together is, are you in love with your solution, or are you in love with the problem that you are trying to solve? Because we are all here trying to be in love with the problem that we are trying to solve, and not really trying to bring a solution to market that there no market for it, no need for it, just because you believe that your solution is amazing. But we are really working with the entrepreneurs to move them from this view from, oh, I'm in love with the solution I created, from I'm in love with the problem I'm trying to solve. Today we have this amazingly complex problems, and we are still trying to solve this with simple solutions. And to Julius' point of decentralization, how we can build ecosystems and networks that will feed from each other and really use this decentralization to build stronger companies that don't need to build new departments because they have partners that will do that work for them. And with this, build much more resilient companies and economies. Thank you, Julius, for bringing that aspect to the discussion. I guess another side of course, we touched it a little bit briefly on what are the benefits for the companies, the entrepreneurs participating on the challenge, but we also have lots of opportunities for collaboration on the other side. Well, partners that will work on the design with us, accelerators, impact investors, and welcoming the policymakers, that they will be very instrumental in moving change, moving forward. Our program also have the revenue sharing that will allow us to support the local ecosystems and of course, they will also hire new people and also increase the local resilience. As Barry brought the win-win approach, that when one of our companies win, everybody wins, right? So everybody is on the same game. We are here to prolong life on Earth, how long we can stay on this Earth healthy and bringing new ecosystems to life. And of course, the shared visibility and networks that will bring together. Imagine that we will all be working, collaborating with each other. As John Lennon would say, I have a dream, and that's the dream we have now, is to really create this network where entrepreneurs, incubators, investors, policymakers all work together to drive change. And those are the expected outcomes of our challenge, and that will build scalable ventures that can work beyond the regional impacts, global network with all partners involved, all committed to social and environmental challenges, and increasing the economic resilience in all levels, regional, local, regional, and global. And in closing, I guess the power of techno-entrepreneurship nowadays is that it reshapes how we approach the world's most complex problems, and that we can use technology nowadays to be a bridge between the social good that was totally isolated so far, and really blending this with revenue and social value, and also driving systemic transformation, because at the end of the day, change by itself doesn't change much. So we need to really bring systemic transformation and impactful innovation together to build a systemic and explore new partnerships, and also expand the mission as we move forward. I invite you all to join our movement, collaborate for impact. We believe that all ventures have this capacity and ability to bring impact. We just need to reframe some of the frameworks that we are already addressing. But every company, and I saw so many companies here today, yesterday, and it's just sometimes just reframe the language we are using, because most of us are already working with bringing impact and change to the world. So I invite you all to scan our QR codes. One is with my personal information, and the other is the link for the challenge directly. And now Julius will invite us all for a discussion around social innovation and how the technology can enhance the global changes.
Thank you, Daniela. And thank you for that presentation. And as you know, we are talking about a global challenge. And this global challenge needs to be addressed as such. And from the point of view of the society that we now have today, we have the advantages through technology, through AI, through the innovations that have stepped up in the last 10 years to really become a global society, to really become humanity at its best, and actually take this next step into what it really means to be a level 1 civilization. And for this, I feel that we need to address the pinpoint topics of today's issues and struggles when it comes to actually achieving this. Because if we look at the society today, and if we look at the technology that we're having, it's been a long talk. I know you've seen it throughout decades, but we are behind in mentality according to our technology. We have much more advanced technology than our mentality is showing. If you talk to a certain human and you realize that he has access to everything and has knowledge of nothing, this is a basic root need that needs to be addressed through our society. And this should have been mitigated by governments. It should have been mitigated by the central administration offices in a way to improve inequity and improve equality at a global level. But I would like my peers to have a word in this. From my opinion, it has not. And we can no longer rely on governments to do this. Barry?
I couldn't agree with you more, Julius. And you take me back to when I was doing my first courses on entrepreneurship. And this was the concept that was presented. As we look at society, wherever we are, we're going to see the failings of the quote-unquote government. And these failings, I think the term was institutional voids or something similar to that. Forgive me if it's not that. But in a nutshell, it is within a framework, governmental or otherwise, there are gaps. And the entrepreneur is the individual that can identify these gaps. Most times through the leaning of their own passion or their own experiences, that they have fallen into this gap and they have said, never again for me, or never again for me and my family, or never again for me and my country. I'm going to make a change. Bam, they have discovered a why. And that passion drives them to build something to answer that why. And you said something earlier, Julius, that I just want to bring back to the front, it is that even coming out of the challenge, but in a very real sense, we have to get to the point where we understand that business is not about competing to win. It is about collaborating to survive. And in collaboration, I think what you said, Julius, is that we don't compete, we complete.
Yes.
We've got to, so as we look at these institutional voids, and I'll give you a practical example from my personal story. Here in the Caribbean, coaching is not yet widely adopted or accepted. So it's a tough market from the jump. And to try to navigate this journey on my own would make it an episode of the old classic Mission Impossible. However, my mindset, my why, is to improve entrepreneurship for the African diaspora primarily, but for entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs globally. So what I did is that I created a free clinic, a free virtual clinic that allowed any entrepreneur or someone thinking about going into business to sit, have a snapshot of their business or their idea taken, and then get, by the end of the session or a subsequent report a couple of days after, get a clear strategy, a clear blueprint, a clear sense of direction as to what they should do next. Because after all, as coaches, our job is to primarily bring clarity. We consult and we will help navigate more complex concepts, but it all starts with helping the client look within, understand what's happening on the inside, and then use the power that they're already carrying to execute the vision they have set for themselves. Whether we help them refine the vision or alter it altogether, it's all about, it all starts with a sense, giving that sense of clarity. And so within my clinic, what I started doing, and it's been going very well so far, I have connected with coaches and consultants that I have worked with over the years, building my network, my personal network. And so now someone coming into a baseline clinic, my clinic, is able to get feedback from a plethora of coaches dealing with matters that I may know something about, but it's not my strong suit. And even if another business coach or consultant is in the room with me, because I have my niche, because I have my ideal client archetype, which may differ from the other coaches, we are still able to put our heads together and serve better. Now, the first thing I'll tell you guys, the first thing the coaches, when I reached out, started reaching out, the first thing they asked was, well, how much is this going to cost me? And what I said, I really didn't pay it much mind. And sometimes my fiance says, no, you should have charged for it. But what I said was, my clinic is free, so I'm not going to charge you to access to the people that come to me. I want us to get into the habit of working together to serve the lead. It's not even a client yet. And 9 out of 10 of the people that have sat in the hot seat in my clinic have said they have enjoyed the multiple prong, the broad sense of clarity coming from several experts from social media management, content, copy creation, the whole 9 yards, graphic design. These entrepreneurs have showed and proven that a framework of support and guidance is still a major gap being left by anything the government in any country is bringing to market. And so filling that gap as an entrepreneur and then hearing about this challenge that we can encourage other entrepreneurs to identify and they themselves fill other gaps in their local territories, I think is critical. I think in time to come, it will be quite lucrative. But I think more than anything else, it is what the world needs. People who are dedicated to complete good service and therefore last. Brands that will stand the test of time and become legacies that can be passed on to future generations of servants and problem solvers and innovators, I might add. That's my thought.
And this is what humanity should all be about innovation, serving to each other, and bringing always the next step. And this was my main thought when talking about decentralization of businesses, especially in the regards of government regulations, because we have reached a point, again, back to technology and back to artificial intelligence and back to everything that is going right now, where you can go on AI and let's say you have a business model. This business model, you have XYZ services that you need to actually put forward. And if you go on ChatGPT or you go on Gemini or you go on any other AI and say, hey, my business is this. Where is the best place on earth right now? What government or what service structure or what taxation structure as well brings me the best options to promote my business? And most likely you are going to be able to open that business in that country, do services in your country, because we all do remote contracts, we all do remote partnerships. So the playing field is fully open. The entrepreneurs need to realize this. The struggle is no longer real. The solutions are at our fingertips. They're literally there, and they have been so long. And then we look at large corporations and how they are establishing headquarters in this country and this country and this country. This is exactly what they're doing, but they're keeping it to themselves. They're keeping it within Microsoft, within Google, within that large corporation. And this, okay, it brings a benefit to the economy, but it does not bring the benefit that collaborating with a local business in that economy would bring. And not seeing them as competition, but seeing them as these people literally have better ideas than our company can ever imagine. They will bring the next level. It's no shame to acknowledge that we are wrong. It's no shame to acknowledge that we don't know everything. This is a thing that humans need to literally be, because, and I say this in a personal experience. When I have my brother-in-law and he's trying to open up a company in Germany and he's struggling, he doesn't want to listen to me at all. That not even one advice. And I tell him that, why do you want, because this is the entrepreneurship journey. It's a struggle, it's torment, it's sacrificing your time, sacrificing. Why so much sacrifice? Why is this in children's heads? Because he's 20 years old. He has 20 years under me, and I don't understand why he's pushing so much to do everything himself. And I'm sure that we are.
But that's why this session's called the hero's journey, right? You need to answer the call to adventure and really go build things. And that's the call that we all need to answer, right? And that's the hero's journey. And
that's
then
the
he
hero's
needs to
journey,
suffer until he succeeds.
Yes, but you end up individual. You end up with your own mindset. You end up with not listening to others. In other ways, the hero's journey is the humanity's journey. It's not an individual journey. It never was.
But that's why we are trying to provide here, is that we are walking the hero's journey together with the Global Impact Challenge, right? So how you can hear your voice, you hear your call to be a hero on your journey, be the hero of your community, to bring that change to the society within our ecosystem, within an ecosystem that will support you on that journey. So you don't need to, of course you'll suffer a little bit, but you don't need to fall on each hurdle that will come your way.
And feel that you sacrificed a lot along the way. Because that leads to what? Depression in the old age, which is something that no. So we need yes, this is the goal, and this is the target when we are talking about the Global Entrepreneurship Challenge. When Spirit of the Game is presenting to you that we can be better and we should be better and we need to breathe and leave impact. This is something that for us, we're talking to everybody, but we're also there on the front lines, building businesses, doing the programs, trying to get as much information and knowledge and the actual hands-on experience to guide everybody into this new world that we are building as a global entity, as a global community.
Yeah, because I think if I want to combine with what you two were just saying, Julius and Daniela, the hero, it's not so much a me conversation, it's an us conversation. As we come together, we discover that we are the hero. We are the champions of the cause. And we can get so much further along if we work together, if we build together, if we stand for the success of each other, as opposed to trying to initiate the demise of someone that we may consider being in our space, but realize that there is enough space for us all if our objective is to serve, if our objective is to have impact. There is enough room for each individual to have an impact. And that could take the form of the entrepreneur or the investor or the loyal customer or the student that is going to give services as a part of an internship, the community that is going to come out when the entrepreneur is going to do something on a community level, the client. We all have a part to play in this hero story. And I think that is the one of the key elements that is conveyed across the board by this challenge, that we can all build together.
Thank you, Barry. And yes, we will build together. And this is a very important factor. And I always, at this last 10 minutes, I hope to have questions from the audience. I see Dr. Hanadi has joined us. And I want to tell Dr. Hanadi, because I'm not going to be here tomorrow, thank you for this invitation. And we hope to actually bring a lot of our experience and bring a lot of our services into your region and into the locations that each and every one of you, not only the organizers, have joined here for, because you have joined to accumulate information, you have joined to see other people's experience and to see where we can build better. And I feel that it's time we catch up with technology fully. This is needed. It's no longer an issue of how can we do things or what we need to develop to do things, but just how can we educate ourselves to use what tools we have right now to build on what we need to build.
Great, thanks for your group and for Trent also. I know Trent is there. I like your organization. Trent is partner with us in early stage from the first conference in 2022. And he is a strategic partnership. Really, we need to learn from each other. We need to support each other. We need to sharing the knowledge and experience between all of us. Even though we are in developing and you are in developed country and we are from developing country, we need the networking and we need the collaboration for both of us to supporting each of us to be freestanding in the market for all of us.
Yes, true.
Is Trent here to speak?
Yes, I'm here just under Julius's name here. But hi, everybody. This is Trent Simmons, the founder of the World Spirit of the Game Foundation and one of the global directors of the Global Impact Entrepreneur Challenge. And it's very interesting that term that was just used a couple of times, developing countries, developing economies. This is a big part of our message, is that we want people in economies that haven't made as much money to recognize that there's a difference. Like, you've got a lot of strengths that a lot of these so-called developed economies are lacking. There's a lot more sense of community and community support. And yes, Western economies have made a ton of money. Trillions, hundreds of trillions of dollars over the last couple of hundred years, but at what cost? A lot of people think, oh, wow, this Western economic system, it's great. Look at all the value that has been created. And yeah, it's true. Capitalism is a great way to reduce poverty if it is employed correctly, if it is employed with a government that is accountable to the people rather than to the corporate interests. And that, to me, is what entrepreneurship, why I've always been an entrepreneur, is that ability to try to make a change rather than simply buying a politician so that I can continue my inept and inefficient business practices. But it took me a long time. I started my entrepreneurial journey when I was 8 years old. By the time I was 9, I had started my second business. But it took me until I was 38 to wake up and realize that all of these businesses I had started, they were kind of fun. They were a much more fun way of making money than going to a job every day where somebody else told me what to do. That was the kind of entrepreneur I was. I solved businesses. I wonder if I can make money doing this. Yeah, 6 months later, making money. 18 months later, I was bored. Because the thing is, I had a ton of mentors and coaches and fellow entrepreneurs. And during that 20 years, throughout the 90s and the 2000s, never once do I remember a single conversation about impact. It wasn't that we, sit down, meet another entrepreneur at a networking thing and say, yeah, what do you do? And they would tell me about their impact. No, they always told me about their product. They always told me about their business. They always told me about how they made money. So, of course, if that's the ecosystem that we all exist in, if that's the ecosystem that we live in and that we choose to support with our limited time here on this earth, that's the system our children are going to inherit. I do not want my child to go into that type of same system. I do not want my child have to choose between making an impact and making a decent living. I do not want my child to have a midlife crisis. I want to help by putting them on the correct path from the beginning, but I can't do that on my own. We can't do that on our own. Spirit of the Game, we're an amazing organization all over the globe, so many passionate people, and we don't have nearly enough. At one point, we were up to 1,200 volunteers. We scaled back. We're going to start scaling up. Next year, we'll probably go over 1,000 volunteers. That's not nearly enough. We literally need millions. We need to move the needle on this entire industry called entrepreneurial support. We need to get everybody engaged, everybody involved, everybody reinvigorated and humble enough to recognize the fact there's a difference between regular entrepreneurship and impact entrepreneurship. Yeah, we need everybody's business skills, your intellect, all of the things you've done until now, but we also need you to be curious. We need you to get out there and talk to other people. We need you to seek out the struggling impact entrepreneurs in your community and go out of your way to support them, not for immediate financial gain, but for your children's future. Waking up in the morning saying, what can I do to make the world a better place for my children and my grandchildren? Imagine that. Imagine that, that's how you got out of bed in the morning. That's what woke you up. I wonder what I can do today. And then be curious and go and find out from people maybe that you think that you're their mentor because you know a lot more about the world of business. Well, guess what? A lot of them know a lot more about the world of passion. That same passion that maybe you had 20 years ago, but nobody helped you harness that passion. Instead, they just steered you into the make money or you're a failure mentality. Chasing unicorns. We got to stop it. There's really, at the end of the day, chasing unicorns is just gambling. It's just a different word for gambling. And we need to recognize that if your business is based on having to achieve tenfold return on one of the 10 businesses you support, you ain't that good at what you're doing. Okay? If 90% of the businesses you're supporting are failing, you're not very good. I'm sorry. Yeah, you might make a lot of money because that 1 out of 10, hits a 15-fold return. Yay, I made it. But guess what? You're failing your local ecosystem. You're failing to support the people who have more passion than business intellect. Work with those people. Lend them your skills. Because at the end of the day, your impact is not just about yourself. It's about who you inspire, who you empower, who you help to live their dream. One of my favorite quotes my entire life, and I read a ton, 2 to 3 books a week, is if you help enough other people achieve their dreams, your dreams will become a reality. Just do that. Just help the people. But help the people who are trying to help others. It's really simple. When you meet with somebody and you're thinking about helping them, ask yourself, are they trying to help others or are they trying to help themselves? And if the answer is they're trying to help themselves, take your efforts, your intellect, your support elsewhere, or imagine this, saying to them, I'd love to help you if you were paying more attention to society and the planet. If you were more engaged with helping somebody else, I would be your #1 fan. So I'm happy to help you on one condition. Figure out a way to use your business to help some others. And then I'm all on board. We all say that. If we all make that the minimum, just the minimum. Yeah, that's all we need is everybody in this entire global ecosystem of entrepreneurial support to make that the minimum. that's my final word. I know we have a couple of, I wanted to give the stage back to our speakers because I know we're 1 minute before the end. But thank you all for allowing me to hop on my soapbox for a second day in a row. I'm just really lucky to have such an awesome team. So thanks, Barry, Daniela, and Julius.
Thank you, Trent, for being us together.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Trent. Thank you for all the group of Spirit of the Game Foundation. It's my favorite foundation.
Thank you.
We will have a branch, inshallah, in Kuwait.
Sure. I'll take you up on that.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hanadi. Have a wonderful
Thank you,
day.
Danielle.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Barry. Barry, it's with us from early morning today. Thank you so much, Barry, for supporting us.
Glad to be here.
With us. Be with us. Still the remaining is tons of hours till we finish.
I'll be on later for sure.
Okay.